Today we're making pasta. I'm sure that I'm not the only one that sometimes has a craving for a dish that they don't have the ingredients to make on hand. What I've gotten fairly good, I think, at doing is making up a similar dish, or at least something that will sate my craving for the thing that I want, with what I already have in my kitchen, so that I'm not running out constantly to the store to get the exact ingredients needed. I kind of make do with what I have and pull on my knowledge of flavor combinations to create something that's really similar. So today, what we're gonna do is I really want some carbonara. If you've never had carbonara, it's kind of well, the Americanized version is like a bacon, Parmesan type flavored pasta. So very salty, meaty, kind of creamy, thick sauce flavor. And then you can put a vegetable in there sometimes. A lot of times it's asparagus, or even like Brussels sprouts would probably be good. So I have a craving for this pasta, but I know that I don't have the exact ingredients needed to make it in my kitchen already, but I have similar ones that I might be able to make work. So instead of going to the store and getting the exact ingredients, I'm just gonna use what I already have. I hate doing a million trips to the store, and no matter how many lists I create, I always forget something when I come back. Because I'm using ingredients that I just happen to have on hand, this is not a traditional carbonara pasta. It's gonna be more of a pasta carbonara flavor inspired dish. It's not gonna be the exact thing, but it'll be really close and hopefully delicious. And hopefully sate my craving for it. Let's go. Since I'll be using only ingredients I have on hand, each can be easily swapped out for whatever you have in your kitchen if you stick with the same or a similar flavor profile. I'll try to provide some alternate suggestions as we go on and explain why, so you can decide what works best in your specific situation. We'll start with boiling the pasta according to package directions. My first choice would be any type of long noodle, but if I didn't have it, or any type of penne or even macaroni would do in a pinch. If you're using long pasta, don't snap the noodles in half to fit them in the pot. That defeats the purpose of having long noodles. Instead, rest them on the side of the pot and then slowly allow the heat and water to soften them as you push them down into the water gently until they're fully submerged. Don't forget to heavily salt your pasta water too. It should taste like an ocean. This will add flavor to your finished pasta, and don't worry, it won't be overly salty at the end. Most of the salt will be poured away when we discard the pasta water. Next, in a separate pan, we'll cook up some sliced bacon. If you don't have bacon, you can also use ham, chicken, shrimp, or, this might sound a little gross to some people, but I'm gonna say it, Spam. The goal with the meat for this dish is to have a salty, fatty flavor and texture. The ham and Spam would provide this same salty, fatty flavor and texture. Chicken or shrimp would be my last choice for this particular pasta, because they wouldn't provide as much of that salty fattiness unless you're using chicken thighs. But they'd also work well with the rest of the sauce and ingredients we're going to add, and would definitely make for a slightly healthier alternative too, so still a good choice. When the pasta is done, reserve about a cup of the pasta water and strain out the rest and set it to the side. Bacon lets off a lot of fat as it cooks, and we want some of that fat, but not all of it. There's a lot in this pan. So I removed the bacon and strained out some of that fat so that it wasn't all of it going into the finished dish. Next to go in would be some sort of vegetable, such as asparagus or Brussels sprouts. I didn't have either of those and decided I actually wanted to add a bit of spicy kick to the dish, so I substituted for sliced jalapeno and diced garlic. One of my favorite flavor or texture combinations is creamy and spicy. Since the sauce for this dish will be cheesy and creamy, I wanted a bit of spicy zing to break up the savory meat flavor from the bacon and the savory creaminess that will come from the sauce. You could also do the same thing with a splash of lemon juice, cooking wine, your favorite hot sauce, or red pepper flakes. Something tangy, spicy, or that makes your mouth slightly pucker a bit when you eat it. If you're using any kind of liquid though, like the lemon juice or wine, add it slowly in small amounts over time, stir the dish and taste it, and then add more as needed to get to the flavor that you like. You can very easily go overboard and add a little bit too much, so just take it slow and taste as you go. You'll know the jalapeno and garlic are done cooking when you can smell the garlic and the jalapeno is slightly browned. Jalapeno also likes to smoke a lot when you cook it in a skillet, so be warned if you have a small apartment or somewhere without good ventilation. Then we'll add the bacon back to the skillet, add our cooked pasta, and finally it's time to sauce it up with Parmesan cheese and our own not so secret weapon, pasta water. That's all you need. A good sauce doesn't need to be complicated with a long list of ingredients. In fact, if you look at traditional Italian pasta dishes, the sauces are just 2 or 3 ingredients and that's it. It's more about the technique and how you combine them than adding more unnecessary stuff. All we're going to do here is sprinkle the cheese on top and add a small amount of pasta water at a time, stirring well in between to get to a creamy texture that we want. Keep the heat low at this point, because we're not really trying to cook anything anymore, we're just keeping it warm so that the cheese melts. Parmesan is an excellent cheese to use for this because it's very low moisture, but you could do the same with a higher moisture cheese like mozzarella if that's what you have. You just end up adding less pasta water. There are also eggs in a traditional carbonara sauce, which help thicken the sauce and add creaminess, but I didn't have any eggs, and this is a use what you've got kind of situation. If you do have the eggs though, you can add 2 whole eggs and 1 egg yolk. The fatty egg yolk will help thicken the sauce and the whites will add some moisture. Time to try. It's hot. Meaty, bacony, Parmesan thick sauce. It would definitely be better with the egg, but I don't have any eggs. So make do with what you got. I would definitely add asparagus to this if I had some. But again, the idea is to make it with whatever you have on hand, what's already available to you. How can you make that flavor, that same flavor profile that you're going for with what you already have? And I know that the jalapeno might be a little weird, but it is good and it balances it out. It needs that spice and just a little bit of green. I'm gonna just make this again. I don't even need the other stuff. I don't even need to make it the right way. This is good. Anyway, I do this quite often in my kitchen where I just make things with what I have on hand. So if this type of video is helpful to you guys and kind of how to make things with stuff that's already in your kitchen instead of getting specific ingredients to make specific recipes, let me know in the comments if that's helpful, because I will definitely make more of these type of videos because again, I do it pretty much every day. Just making stuff up all the time. So let me know and I'll make more. If you like this video or you learned something, give it a like. If you'd like to learn more, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.